What's up, YouTube? JR Juggernaut 1. This is either gonna go up before or after. I haven't decided. Before I make a vid about just sort of an update vid about what I've missed over the past few weeks. Regardless, I wanted to make a deck profile of a deck that I took to locals today. Today being Friday the 28th, and I ended up going 3-1 in Swiss and came third afterwards. We didn't play out for top 8, dude, top 4, or whatever, because we don't have time because of the situation of the locals. It's bad, but that's a discussion for another day. Anyway, yeah, I took an agent deck, believe it or not. I ended up, this deck worked really well, just as well as I had hoped for it. And you're probably thinking to yourself, I probably just neck decked Alistair Alban's build. Actually, what ended up happening was, when I was scrolling through the Duelist Grounds forums, I came across this deck. So I'm not the creator of it, but I was actually testing it before Alistair topped. I was just debating as to whether or not I actually wanted to pursue taking this like to a regional, and I still might take this deck to the regional over Heroes, as crazy as that kind of might sound, but this deck has been working very well. It's a bit more versatile, and I think it just might be a better call, better meta call, honestly. I think the only thing I'm worried about is if Inzectors are very popular there, in which case I'll be really annoyed, but regardless, it is whatever. So I will get to the deck because, yeah, like this is, like I said, build basically was on Duelist Grounds. Apparently Alistair didn't get his build, didn't get the idea from Duelist Grounds, but whatever. But like you guys can probably tell, if you've seen my older vids, I used to play Tech Genius Agents and I really like the deck. Honestly though, I think this deck works a lot better, because this build of it works a lot better because it's less reliant on drawing into your Earths and your Venuses, which I think TG Agents were very focused on, and I think that's what made the deck very flawed in many cases. But regardless, yeah, so let's get to the deck. We'll start with the monsters. We have 2 Earth, triple Venus, pretty standard, triple Shine Ball, triple Herald. I might cut one of these for a max C, but I haven't decided yet. Card is really good though and very powerful with all the fairies you run to discard. And it's very good, especially in the wind-up matchup where it just stops them from completely imploding and destroying you. So I really like that. Triple Hyperion, kind of straightforward. Boss monster. I'm basically running 3 Dark Arms with this card. It is ridiculous. And then a card I never really ran before, double Christia. Basically, you're going to see some of the cards in here, but Christia is a lot easier to get out in this build compared to previous builds. It's not really just sort of an all or nothing card. It's like very easy to utilize in here, and that's what makes it very good. But yeah, very powerful, wins games, especially in this current meta. So yeah, and finally the last fairy is Honest. So, that's all the fairy stuff. The last 6 monsters are triple Thunder King. Just kind of as a, standalone card, really good in the current meta. Doesn't hurt you as much as you think. I used to run 2 after all. And then there's double Card Trooper. Card Trooper, really powerful. It mills, so the way it mills and lets you get and gives you draw power is perfect for the deck. The milling can be perfect if you have Christia and Hyperion in hand but no agents, and the draw power gets through your deck faster. I really like that. And yeah, this is also great out to Thunder King, which can really annoy the deck. And then finally Sengen, which I don't understand why Alistair didn't play, but oh well. So that's 23 monsters? Yeah, 23. Pretty straightforward. The spells and traps are very straightforward. The spells, we have your staples: Heavy, Reborn, Dark Hole. 1 duality. I definitely agree with Alistair on this. 1 duality is better than 2 or none, because there are many cases where it works and you really want to have duality, but you do special summon a fair amount in this deck, so it doesn't really make sense to play any more than 1. And then finally, to round up the triple MSD. I mentioned when I played TG Agents, you guys might have seen I used to only play 2. Because of how much more explosive and just how this deck is pretty much all about getting the monsters on the board, you really need the extra back row to make sure those plays go through. Plus, the lack of priority also gives me more reason to play it. And then there's traps, which we have 10 of, which you don't really see many agent decks play traps, but or at least a full trap lineup. This deck does, and for good reason, and you're going to see. Double Torrential, just because you have Trooper, Sangan, and all that stuff. Double Deep Prison. Double Warning. Judgment. And probably the best trap of the entire deck, Triple Call of the Haunted. Essentially, this is what allows the deck to function as well as it does. You use cards like Trooper to and all your other cards to just mill to the grave faster, and you're able to more easily gather up a grave presence, and it just makes it so easy to just kind of go from there. Call of the Hunt is very good, especially when it kind of works as both a defensive and offensive trap. You can use Call, like for example today I used it to revive a Thunder King to stop an E-Call from resolving. It's pretty ridiculous. You can also use it on Christia to stop them from making a special summon, like if they use something like Gear Arsenal or whatever, or Lone Fire Blossom, whatever. Or you can just use it when they try to blind MST. They hit it, you chain Call, revive Sangan or Trooper, good stuff. And lastly, let's just get to the extra deck quickly, just kind of at the staples. For the Xyz monsters, we have Gachi Gachi. There should be a Daigusto Phoenix in here. I have something else in there instead for now, but I do plan to pick one up. Dark Mist, this card is very, overlooked at times. There are many situations where you win simply because you're able to get him out. He is amazing. I learned that today. Zen Mains, you don't really Xyz very much because you don't play Tour Guide, which I forgot to mention. You don't play Tour Guide because you usually mill out your targets before you get to really utilize it. He just doesn't mesh well with the deck. Temtempo, this was going to be an Acid Golem, but I opted for Temtempo because I wanted an out to cards like Zen Mains and such. And Maystroke and whatever. Leviathan, and that kind of rounds off the Xyz monsters. And then for Synchros, we have Armory Arm, Catastor, and Android. 4s and 5s. Armory Arm, really good even though you don't play BLS. Sometimes it's just good to have that option. Android and Catastor are both necessary because Android's a light and increase your life points. Catastor is freaking Catastor and he blows up stuff. I play Gaia Knight, which a lot of people, which are not a lot, but some people opt not to run. I think it's actually a very good card. Just because having the level 6 option is good, but I'll admit you make this less than everything else. Wyvern, you have to play this card. Simply put, he's amazing. He's a game changer. Just being able to OTK so easily is awesome with it, even though it doesn't always happen. Plus, for the record, he's a fairy, in case that helps. Black Rose, because it's a card. Scrap Dragon. Stardust Dragon. Stardust, I honestly love so much, because when you can bring out a Christia Stardust, or Hyperion Stardust, it's usually game. And finally, for the last Synchro Mistworm. Instead of Daigusto Phoenix, I'm running Chimera Tech right now, but I want to kind of either make room for Chimera Techs in the side, take something else out for Daigusto Phoenix, which isn't easy, but I do want to think about doing that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So tell me guys what you think about the deck. I actually think the deck is really good right now. It's been working very well both on paper and in terms of in real life. I'm surprised by it. I just think I'm likely going to take this to regionals, knowing that there's so much going for it. The only cards that I'm actually worried about in the side deck are D-Fissure, and I do side a little bit of extra back row hate for it. But usually, I wind up drawing the MSTs, and if I have enough upgrades set up already, D-Fissure is only really good when they draw it early game, because if I have the setup for Hyperion, or if I have it already engraved, it's just irrelevant. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like. Tell me what you guys want to see next. Like I said, this could be before or after I post a vid regarding what I've missed, but yeah, see you guys next time.